Everybody? BigSrod's here. Hope y'all are having a great Saturday night. Hope y'all are enjoying your Saturday evening, getting close to Sunday morning. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves so far today. I've just been working on fishing rods today, doing some shipping, things like that. Been staying pretty busy in here though. Hope y'all are having a great evening. Hope you didn't have too busy of a weekend. Hope you get to enjoy yourself, relax. If you're working, I hope you ain't working too hard this weekend. You know what I mean? K Joe, what's up, man? K Joe, my man. My Machi Ray Tub, what's up, brother? What is up, man? Hope you're doing good. I gave you a little 15-minute break. I appreciate your support, brother. You know that, man. Always all over the place, man. Appreciate that, brother. You're awesome. You are awesome, man. Got a package coming your way. I'm gonna hook you up with some goodies, brother. Gonna hook you up with some goodies. TJ said, I'm good, man. He said he's good. That is awesome. Let me set up this screen right here so I can see. There we go. Make sure so I can see the comments a little brighter. A little brighter of a screen over there. Got a couple of things I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna put a coat of color preserver right here on this Patriot rod tonight. We're going to put a coat of color preserver on it. We use that to seal the threads and make sure we get a tight color hold on it for whenever we put the epoxy on it, don't lose its color. We're going to put that on tonight, and then we're going to set it up to dry overnight. And then take a look at our little YouTube rod, two-piece ultralight we got over there. I'd like to put that decal on, but we got to check. I want to check the epoxy on it, see if it's flat enough. Might just go ahead and put another coat of epoxy on it tonight to make sure we get it real good and smooth, so that decal, when we put that decal on it, it's nice and smooth. If we don't do that, it'll make the whole process after that a living you know what. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to get into all that. So we got our Flex Coat color preserver and thread sealer. That's all it is. It seals the threads. So for one thing, it's almost like a glue. You don't have to worry about the threads coming apart. You can get them sealed where they're at. Your pull throughs and stuff don't come out. You can get it sealed up with this stuff right here. And then it preserves, like I said, it seeps in the... Sometimes if you don't put this on, it'll seep down and get under that thread if you got some spots where you didn't quite get it tight enough. And it'll actually leave stains, discoloration. It'll make it look dark on one end and not the other. So it's pretty critical to put this on there. Even some of this thread nowadays they got that they're selling for rod building is already have this stuff in it. It's supposed to be safe to where you can just put it on and then put epoxy. But this stuff doesn't hurt. It never hurts. But it makes it shinier, gives it a nice shiny, there's no reason not to put it on is what I'm saying. It's a little precaution, But I just put it, I made it a habit to put it on every one of my threads. Seal them up. Make sure I got them good and sealed. When you put all that work into this thread work on a rod like this and you're doing the thread work on this rod, you don't want to have something as simple as one step that's this easy. It'll take us 10 minutes maybe or so, maybe 15 minutes to put this color preserver on here. There's no reason to skip that step. If you skip that step when you're doing rod building with color preserver, it'll be a mistake that'll haunt you, and it'll be one you'll make like I did. You'll be like, why? It takes 10, 15 minutes to do that. I've learned a lot from you. You bring rod building stuff back out. Appreciate that, K. Joe, man. I try to explain. That's why I want to do the YouTube lives. I want to explain everything that I'm doing on rod building, especially once I get into it. We get a little further going. We got a couple of tips we're gonna put on rods here in the next couple of lives, and that's simple, easy stuff. I can show y'all that you can do to your rods at home, and all you need is a heat gun, a razor blade, and a little kit from Amazon, and you can change tips out, fix rods. How many of y'all have thrown a rod away because the tip broke? About that much of it off. You can fix that. Got a little Dremel, cut it off straight. Get a tip, $10, $9 from YouTube, you know what I mean? Get your heat gun and you can replace stuff like that. That way you ain't got to throw a rod away, you know what I mean? That way you ain't got to throw a rod away whenever you have, you know what I mean? Got it right there for you. I'm going to turn this on, y'all. It makes a little noise. I do apologize for that. Y'all just speak up in the chat so I can hear you. But we're going to put this color preserver on this thread. Get that thing drying tonight. This rod right here is on Facebook. It's going to be donated to one of my followers. Next Saturday night is the plan. So if you're not following me on Facebook, make sure you are. Check out the lives on Facebook so you don't miss out on this opportunity. I'll show y'all what I mean on here. You can kind of see an idea of how this looks. You'll see what kind of shine it puts on it. It usually does darken up the thread just a little bit. All threads on there, it darkens them up just a little bit on there. But that's all right. I prepare for that. You know what I mean? When I do thread, I already know this thread's going to get a little darker when I put it on there. That's why I used a lighter blue instead of a darker blue. Because if you use a real dark blue, it might turn it almost a tint closer to black or purple or something like that. And if you're going for blue, you don't want that to happen. But if you don't put color preserver on it, you'll have a light blue turn black on you. You don't want that. Red darkens up probably the most out of all colors. Red darkens up a little more than any of the other colors when you put color preserver on it. But just like on that, I have a couple of darker colors on this. I use the lighter color because I know it's going to darken up a little bit with the epoxy and all that. Steve, what's up, brother? Welcome, Steve. How you doing, man? Hog in the house. House of Creative House Customs. What's up, man? You working out of a trailer? Out of a trailer? Nah, man, I don't live in a trailer, bro. I live in a house. Nah, I live in a house. I don't know about all that. This is an add-on I did to my house for a custom rod building room. What are you making? I'm making a custom fishing rod right here. This is a custom fishing rod that I'm building. Right now I'm putting some thread sealer on top of my thread work I done on the rod. I'm going to get ready so I can get ready to put some epoxy on it. I'm back. What's up? I remember you, Alexander. What's up, brother? Welcome back, man. Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good tonight. Nice, bro. I appreciate that, Robert. Appreciate that, man. This rod right here is called the Patriot. Y'all, it's a red, white, and blue theme. It's a 7'6" medium heavy rod. It's a spin casting rod. It's a medium heavy, so along the lines of a catfish rod, probably. I'm not sure the exact. It's a moderate action. I want to say it's up to like, it could be up close to 20-pound test. Line on here is what it's capable up to. Dang well made a new account for. Oh, I did just notice that, man. I'm gonna have to switch you on there, man. For my B-Day, I want to go fishing. Man, get out there and do it, Marley. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the page, everybody. We build custom fishing rods, talk about fishing. We just chill out on here. On the Big Ass Rod Live. Y'all make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. That's awesome, Hog. That is awesome, brother. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday night. Alberto Fishing, what's up, man? Welcome back, brother. Hope you're doing good tonight on this Saturday. You been doing any good fishing? Have you been doing any good fishing lately? I hope you've been able to do some fishing. We're putting a little bit of color preserver thread sealer on top of this thread work we've done, this custom rod we're building called the Patriot. It's called the Patriot. It's got the red, white, and blue theme. When I get done putting this on here and putting a little bit of heat on it, y'all, I'll show y'all what this rod looks like. Make sure you stick around. It's an awesome rod. I'm going to show up in some updates on some rods here tonight. A couple of rods we got going. Some updates on these rods as well, everybody. We can talk some fishing. We're going to roll this back a little bit. Y'all keep y'all in here. Keep y'all in the mix. Make sure there ain't no little impurities. I've already wiped these down, but make sure there ain't nothing on it so I don't want to seal it on there with this thread sealer. Once it's there, it's there. Thank you. Thank you, man. This thing is beautiful. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you. This thing is turning out awesome. We're almost to the point now in the final stages where we start to put epoxy on it. So we'll put this thread sealer on it tonight. We'll let it sit overnight, and I'll probably put my first coat of epoxy on it tomorrow. Put my first coat of epoxy on this tomorrow. And that's the first step of the last steps. Epoxying is the last step. We will, the very last step will be putting a decal on it. But the only reason I wait on that is because I'm not sure who's going to win this rod yet. So once the winner of this rod is figured out, then we'll be able to put a decal on it. So I say that's the very last thing we actually do. Normally on a fishing rod, anytime now, it doesn't matter really. I'll put the decal on it. Whoever wants, whatever decal someone wants on it. Too much rough weather here for fishing. Man, I hear that, Steve. Yeah. I was thinking about going out today on the kayak, but it was like barely 50 degrees and the wind was blowing about 15, 20 mile an hour. I was like, dang, dude, I'm not going out in that. My boat's down right now for, I'm doing some repairs on it and some upgrades on my John boat, so it ain't ready to go out. So I was like, I'm not about to get on that kayak with no 15 mile an hour wind. I'm good on that. I've been out there and I've done it in the summertime and in the spring, but not in the cold. Nah. I remember my first setup was in 1976. John, what first setup? What first setup you talking about, brother? Talking about your rod and reel? Or did you build custom fishing rods? You talking about a custom rod building setup? Or you talking about just a fishing rod and reel? I can remember my first setup too, brother. I don't remember my first kiddie pole, but I remember my first setup actually I had. We're putting some epoxy, some color preserver on here, y'all. It's already starting to dry back there. That's good. I want it to dry and get. You only need like an hour and a half on this thread sealer for it to dry. But I like to wait. I give it a couple hours just to make sure it gets good and sealed. I like to put this on the front and make sure I got it all around this thread, so underneath where the guide touches the blank, we don't have any seepage. We don't want that. We want it to seal under this part, but we don't want it to go on the foot where it curves up, but we don't want it to go on the thread too much. A Zepco 33 and an edge claw. Oh, man, that's awesome, man. The old Plano tacking box. That's what I'm talking about, John. That's awesome, brother. I remember the Zepco 33s. That was my first setup, too. I mean, if you had a good childhood life, your 33 was your first setup. Should have been. What's up, K Fishing Pro? Welcome, man. Welcome back, brother. Y'all, make sure y'all pound that like button and subscribe to the page if you haven't subscribed already, everybody. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. When we do that, we're going to shoot out some nice little package out to somebody, maybe a hat. This is not my hat. The hat I'm wearing right now is an awesome bait maker that supports BigSrod's called TFK, Team Fat Kid Fishing. But I do have a hat. Maybe this. I got a couple of these. We can shoot out a BigSrod hat. Maybe when we hit that 1K subscribers. Maybe a fishing towel. Some koozies, decals. So I'm ready to get on up there. We talk fishing and build fishing rods. That's what we do. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing good. Okay, Pro Fishing. I hope you're doing good as well. Y'all, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more guides to do. 6 more guides to do on here. How much? Send me a text. Man, I ain't sure. Yeah, you got to talk about that. There's all kinds of different details and there's all kinds of different things you can do that makes it a little cheaper or makes it a little more expensive on the rod building world. A couple of custom hog baits too. That's awesome. House of Great House Customs over there. Steve, y'all. Y'all see him in there, Hog Customs. Make sure y'all give him a subscribe. When we do that 1K giveaway, we'll have a couple of his baits in there too. And but you got to make sure you're a subscriber to him. I'm gonna check. If you do win, when we draw for the 1K giveaway, if you do win, you'll have to be a subscriber of his to make sure you get the package. I was 8 years old, caught a 10-pound bass. Dang, dude. I'm 42 years old and I ain't never caught a 10-pound bass. I'm still looking for them double digits. That's awesome, brother. That is awesome. K Pro Fishing said, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, when we hit 1K, there'll be baits in it. It'll be a nice package, y'all. We'll hook y'all up with a nice package on here. I'd like to build up a nice community here on YouTube. We got an awesome community on Facebook, you know. This rod y'all are seeing right now is going to be donated on a Facebook Live here in the next week or so. So make sure you're following BigSrod's on Facebook, and you're jumping in over there on the lives as well, because this custom fishing rod you're seeing right here called the Patriot is going to be donated to somebody. And the only way to get a chance at this is to join those lives at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. Here on the YouTube for BigSrod's, we mainly do rod building updates and go over info, questions, and answers on rod building and anything else, fishing, whatever you want to talk about on here. We do the Big Shabam rods on Facebook. I got a lot bigger of a following on Facebook, an awesome community supporting it. So they make it possible to be able to do that all over there. Hopefully we'll get there this way on YouTube as well once we get some good subscribers and get it rolling. Biggest bass I ever caught was 5 pounds. I'm right around the 6 pound mark. I'm right around that 5-6 pound mark, Steve, with you, brother. That's a nice rod, man. Kaylee, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. This thing is sweet right here. It's called the Patriot. It's a 7-foot, medium heavy spinning rod. If y'all stick around for a minute, about another 5 minutes, I'm gonna put a little more epoxy down here, and we'll definitely show this rod off to y'all. Show y'all what it looks like. It looks awesome. It's got a nice marble job on it. Y'all can see a little bit of it right here. It's got a nice marble paint job on it. Custom grips, custom reel seat. It's got a nice American flag dipped reel seat. This rod's gonna make somebody very happy. What kind of blank did you use? This blank on this rod right here specifically is a CRB. Custom Rod Builders mud hole over there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're a custom rod building place. This is like an OME blank is what it is basically. It's the OME for Custom Rod Builders, CRB. It's a very nice blank. I've built quite a few CRBs like this. They're sweet rod blank for the budget. If you're doing a little bit of a budget build, CRB is definitely the way to go. There's much better blanks out there. There's much, I mean, as far as, you know, name. Me, I'm a big time believer in Batson Enterprises Rain Shadow. That's my favorite blank to use, is a Rain Shadow blank. But for the budget, for the price, you get a good deal on these CRBs. And I've never had any problems with one. You get a lot more different actions. I like the actions a little bit better on Batson. And if you do some Gloomas or some St. Crocs, old Crocs and stuff like that, you can do about any blanket. You can get a hold of any blank y'all want. You know, if you want for any kind of rod, anything you buy from the stores, you can find a blank for it and custom build it. Definitely. But for budget wise, I found mud hole's about your best bet. Get you a CRB blank. I'll get anybody happy, that's right. Yeah, we're gonna get this color preserver on these threads, and I'll show y'all a little what this rod looks like. It looks great. Bring y'all down here with me a little bit. That's all my grips right there. My supply of grips back there y'all looking at. I don't know why it's trying to bounce on us like that. Yeah, this rod right here is, we've been building on this rod for a while. We've been building it up, and on Facebook you get entries by joining the live. We just got off that live on Facebook. We had a pretty good time. Quite a few people in here were on it as well. We had a pretty good time on that live. I got another tablet down here. I'm looking at y'all's comments on it. MTX is a good blank as well. That is right. You are right. I've done a few. I've done a few. And you can get those directly pretty readily available from Mudhole as well. Those are good blanks. I've built probably about 4 or 5 of those blanks. They are also nice as well. when someone tells me that what blank I recommend, it's usually Batson Rain Shadow first. If that's a little too high, you can kind of look at the you can kind of then look at the MHXs, and then after that, it's kind of you want to go to, if you're going budget, it's like right here, you know, a CRB rod. I can't dog a CRB rod. The old green rod I got back here that I fish with now on the regular that I really love, that's really lightweight, really durable. It's a CRB custom color blank. So I have nothing against these blanks. But MHX and Batson, they're nice, sweet blanks. And they're a well-respected name already. Alright, I got 3 more, y'all. We'll have this thing ready just to sit out and dry. I'll show y'all what this sweet rod looks like. That end down there is dry. I'll show y'all how shiny it gets when you put this thread sealer on it too. That's another reason I like it. It shines real good for you. But like I say, y'all, I always put this color preserver on here. There's no reason not to. Like I said, I can't figure out a single reason not to put color preserver on it. Can't think of a reason not to, but I can think of quite a few of a reason to put it on. So, I mean, some people, like I say, they do make threads that say you don't need color preserver, this and that and all that. It doesn't matter. Not to me. I put color preserver on everything. Gives it a nice shine. Protects the thread. It also acts as a sealer on the thread to keep it tight to the blank, so you don't have it light, so it doesn't get loose on you after you have it sitting up for a while. Because sometimes I put thread on a blank and I don't put epoxy on it for a week or 2. Got other stuff going on. I got about 5 or 6 rods I'm building right now, y'all. Staying pretty wide open with it. It's pretty wide open. So. But make sure y'all are liking the live. Make sure y'all subscribe to BigSrod's right here on YouTube. I usually go live. Most nights I'm on here live for a little while. Because that's the only time. I got a 15-year-old son I take care of full time. So, you know, he's in wrestling. We got school. We got everything else. I got quite a bit more time to get on now because it is winter. But when summer hits, I got to do some fishing and stuff too, y'all. So, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all are hanging out. We start when I hit that 1K, when we hit 1K on the subscribers, I'm gonna do a nice appreciation for all y'all joining me on these lives and supporting the channel. But if you want a shot at this rod, you need to check my Facebook page out. I don't like really and I have respect for these other platforms. I don't like screaming other platforms on other platforms, but if anybody's wondering about this rod, some people hear me talking about this rod, they're like, what do you mean a donation? What do you mean this and that? Well, I'm just explaining it because some people wonder. I got a big, awesome following and supporting crowd there on Facebook, so we get livid over there, y'all. All right, everybody, we got thread sealer on this rod. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to throw a little bit of heat on it real quick, and then I'll show y'all how sweet this rod looks. This rod is awesome. We'll put a little bit of heat on it. This will help this thread sealer dry just a little bit. And I'll show y'all what this awesome rod looks like. Never told you I failed on my 6'6" ugly stick in the river and snapped it. Man, that's awful, dude. I hate that for you, bro. What kind of blank do you use? What's up, Tony? This right here is a CRB, man. Like I was just explaining, man. Nice budget blank right here from CRB Mudhole Custom Rod Builders. But I love Rain Shadow, man. Unfortunately, that's not what this rod blank is. I don't actually have a Rain Shadow on site here. I usually have me a Rain Shadow blank on site because I love those things. I like to find those on deal, though. Those are a little more pricier. But when you get your hands on a Rain Shadow blank, you know the difference. You can feel it. MHX is a nice one that Custom Rod Builders makes as well. Or they don't make it, but they sell them. And all. Last Monday. Oh, that's awful, dude. That is awful, man. Appreciate you posting that up in there for me, Hall. Appreciate you posting that up, Steve. That's the link right there and there's y'all. Steve put the link over there to the Facebook page. Make sure y'all are checking that out because this rod's only going to last about another week. But this will be the 3rd rod we have done on Facebook Lives. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool we have enough support. We have enough support to be awesome enough to do that. Get ready to show y'all what this rod looks like. Some of y'all that haven't seen this, some of y'all that might not have seen this rod, some of y'all that might have not ever seen it. It's a 7-foot spinning rod, 7'6" actually. It's actually 7'6". Medium heavy. It's got, like I said, it's got a moderate action on it, which for catfishing is not. That's about what I usually use is a moderate action on my catfishing rods. That's usually what I go with. The only thing I haven't done to this rod yet is put a tip on it. We're going to do that here at the, I'm not sure when. I don't know sure when I'm going to do it. But I'll give y'all a little shot at what this rod looks like. It's pretty sweet. It's got a custom grips. I don't make the grips, y'all. I just buy them like this, and I shape them. When I get the grips, this is what they look like. You know what I mean? Somebody else has made these grips. I'm not sure who. But I get them, and I rim them out and shape them and sand them down to fit the rod that I'm building. I don't make the grips. Some people are confused with that. I actually don't make the grips. There are ways to make grips, but I haven't gotten into that yet before. So I just get the grips already made like that. That's a nice dipped reel seat right there. It's got an American flag on it. This thing is sweet. It's got a nice big power grip on it too for fighting bigger fish. Got a full hand fighting grip up here on the foregrip. Like I said, it's got an awesome spot right here for whoever ends up getting this rod's going to be able to put their own custom decal on it. Well, I'll put it on there for them, you know what I mean? But it's got the red, white, and blue nice marble job on it. And y'all see how that thing shines? It's got a nice shine on it, everybody. It's called the Patriot. And the only thing left to do on this rod is to put the tip on it. That's all we got to do left on it. That thing is sweet. Bristol! My dog's crazy, y'all. You don't know my dog's crazy. But that thing is sweet. Big, nice. Yeah, it's nice, beautiful grip down here. Real seat combination. Looks sweet. Have your name on it, one of y'all. If y'all get on that Facebook and check us out. But you can see how just, it's got a nice shine on it now. What I should have put it on here and one on there and not did the other one so you could actually see the difference. But it's got a real nice shine on it right now. But that is 7'6", medium heavy. This thing right here is going to be a catfish layer spinning rod for somebody. Somebody's going to enjoy this rod right here. Boom. We're calling that rod the Patriot right now. That one is the Patriot. The Patriot. Gotta catch some hogs. What's up, badass barista? What's up? What's up? Nice, man. How long is the rod? It's 7'6", brother. 7'6" on that rod. Yeah, man, that thing is sweet right there, though. That rod has turned out awesome. One of my more awesome. Y'all, I'll be right back with y'all. I gotta wash this brush out real quick. I reuse the brushes that I put color preserver on with. I can't reuse the brushes that I do epoxy with, but I reuse the brushes that I do my color preserver with because water washes it right out. And I try to say, I'm running out now. Every now and then I'll find these cheap brushes. That's all I use is these cheap old brushes. I can get them for like, a 20 pack. I don't know how many was in this. 37 brushes for $1. I go to the Dollar Tree and get these and I get stacks of these little bitty cups for $1 for 15 or 20 of them. You know what I mean? Y'all see me come plowing about once a month. You see me come plowing into Dollar Tree. That's where I get a lot of stuff. Hobby Lobby. I get a lot of rod building stuff from Hobby Lobby, Dollar Trees and stuff like that. They have plenty. They have quite a bit of stuff in there, y'all. that I can get my rod building stuff from, if you know what I mean. Perfect catfish rod. You are correct, man. That's kind of what it is. It was kind of built for a catfish setup. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could take that rod right there and find them a real nice reel, match up with it. As y'all know, I took a reel apart over here, and I was going to take that reel and I was going to dip it. We was going to dip it. That dipping kit was supposed to be in Thursday. They messaged me and said, it ain't coming in today. It's coming in Saturday. Now it's still telling me right now. You know, before I got on this live, it was telling me, hey, it's still being delivered. You know, it's hanging there. It's coming. It's 11, 12 o'clock. It ain't coming. What y'all talking about? I want to see about this one. If y'all ain't familiar with this rod, it's an ugly stick that we're doing a remodel job on. I've had this rod for 25 years, y'all. I got this rod when I was like, I was in high school, probably, I think. And it's right outside of high school or something like that. It's a 2-piece ultralight 5'6" rod. It's a sweet little rod, but it just got looking ugly. You know, it's an ugly stick, and it actually got looking ugly. So I took this rod, y'all, and it's simple. I mean, all I did was I put this nice fish grip, looks like fish scales. Buy it on Amazon. Heat shrink on it. They were black and ugly looking, these grips. Put those on it. I took my thread and I ran it up right here, and there was some ugly thread on it. It is so old, it was yellow and stuff. I just covered it up with this nice thread work right here, and we went to town and done what we did best and put this awesome marble job on it, y'all. Just like y'all seen on this other rod. And y'all, this was a Shakespeare, you know, rod. I build rods all the way from the blank up and do that. But sometimes when I have my own personal rods and they get ugly looking, I'm a rod builder. I have access to everything. It only took me, you know, it didn't cost me nothing but a little bit of time to take this rod and turn it into almost looking like a masterpiece. We got us a nice decal up here we're going to set it on. That's what I want to do tonight. We might just put an extra coat on here. I want to get that a little smoother right there. And we got an awesome new decal that says Ugly Stick through it right here. So we're going to slap that on maybe, I don't think tonight. We might just put an extra coat on this tonight and put a decal on later on. But y'all, this is a 2-piece rod. This is a sweet rod right here. I took every guide and stripped them down, took them off the blank, and put a nice, this is a darker blue than this blue we had up here. It's a shade darker than that Patriot rod y'all just seen. But it's a nice 2-piece. You know what I'm saying? So you can just put that thing together like that. Boom. This rod is pretty much done. All I'm going to do is put one more thin coat maybe on these guides. And then we're going to put a few coats, whatever it takes. The only thing I'm wondering about is when I put my decal on here, this is a sliding reel seat. So this reel seat slides forward just like this to put your reel seat on. So I got to be careful because I don't have a lot of room in right here with my epoxy. Every time I put epoxy on, this rod gets thicker. I got to be careful and see. We might have to just go way up here and just put the ugly stick part right here because I know this won't go up that far. Because once I get it right there, I mean, it's still, I don't know how much room I'm going to have down here. It gets a lot thicker because, see, I can take that pretty much off. And that gives you an idea of what it looked like before. You know what I mean? It had the, this actually under here was not exposed. This looks really good, this thread work. This thread work came all the way down to here. And all the way down here, it was yellow. Or not yet, I mean, just brown. It was awful. The ugly stick was ugly. But that's the old traditional ugly stick thread work, y'all know. You know what I'm saying, man? If you ever fished with ugly sticks, you know. But that's the only worry I got. We're going to take tonight. I'm probably just going to put a coat of epoxy. It'll be the final coat of epoxy on here. Except for when we put the decal on, then we'll put a couple of coats on it. What I might do is I might build it up right here. And then just that. The ugly stick's only that. The sticker's only that long, the decal for the ugly stick. And we might pop it on and do that at another time. I wanted to put it on tonight, but that's not, I just want to get that a little smoother, y'all. There's a couple bubbles in there. Not bubbles, but a couple of divots. I want to get it a little bit smoother before I put that decal on. When you put a decal on, Ron, you want it smooth as possible. If you don't, it's going to be trouble. I promise. Appreciate that, y'all. I like the guide threads. Appreciate that, El Veto. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. That rod does look awesome, y'all. And that's what I'm saying. That ain't. All I did was. Now people say that. I mean, it's easy, but y'all, if you got a rod that has some, I mean, you can get these. You can fix up your grips. You know what I mean? You can fix your grips up. That's pretty easy. You know what I mean? That'll change a rod. You know, most of the time on most rods, it's the grips that start looking ugly anyway around the reel seat. They got that new it's not new, it's been around forever, but this shrink stuff, I mean, it makes a rod. It transformed this butt into this rod, I promise. I still got to cut that off and fix that. I ain't done it yet, but it transformed this rod. You know what I mean? That stuff y'all can order off Amazon and do at your house. You know what I mean? Do on your own. How long have you been building rods for? Looks like you do a good job. I built my first custom fishing rod in 2020. So I just hit 6 years of building custom rods, man. I appreciate that too, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been, yeah. About 6 years. You know what I mean? About 6 years. But that's what I want to do on that rod, y'all. Y'all know that's the YouTube rod, the one that we're kind of working on here on YouTube. The one also we've been keeping up with right here. It's a 7-foot. Y'all seen this rod quite a bit. It's a 7-foot light rod. This one's pretty sweet too, right here, y'all. That neon yellow pops with them gray grips. And it's got the neon green on the grips with the matching reel seat. That thing sets off pretty good too. And it's got a nice marble job on it as well. That thing's pretty sweet. This rod right here is ready at the point right now. I've already got the grips and the reel seat set, and we've put all our thread work down here and all the fancy stuff we're going to do to it. Now, we got an awesome set of CRB. Stainless steel. Nice, real guides. These are the guides we're going to pair up with this rod right here. This rod is going to be popping too. And if y'all don't know anything about it, this right here, this green you see here, the green you see here on the marble does glow in the dark. It's some awesome pigment we got that makes this rod actually glow in the dark. So you can throw the UV light on this thing and it'll actually glow in the dark, which is awesome. That is awesome. But that's an update on that rod. We're at the point now where we're going to be putting guides on this rod. So make sure y'all stay tuned to the page, because I mean, if y'all want to keep up with these rod builds, keep an eye on things. And if you're thinking about doing rod builds yourself, or you want to learn simple ways of fixing your rods and doing repairs, I'm going to go over all that stuff on here. And if you want something in particular you're wondering about, like K. Joe has mentioned earlier, he's gotten a lot of info he said off here, and he's had questions before too. Ask a question. I don't mind answering questions. I'll guide anybody. We got another fellow on here that just got him. He's getting a rod building kit in right now. And a couple other people said they're interested in rod building after watching the page here or watching the channel. And that's awesome to me, you know what I mean? The last thing I want to see is anybody, you know, I want to see people starting to build rods and get into the hobby. You know what I mean? And if you're good enough, make it a business. You know what I mean? I'm too busy. I don't have enough time right now in my life. You know, if I was a couple years on from now and all my kids were graduated and on in college, I might be able to take on a little more rod building and take a little more rod builds on. But right now in my life, I just don't have enough time. I just do it, you know, here on the evenings like this. But this rod does glow in the dark. That one's sweet. It's going to a fella up in North Carolina. He runs tournaments up there for catfishing. If y'all are interested in that, it's called Carolina Kayak Catfish Slayers. He does on Tourney X and stuff like that. It's on your kayak doing catfishing tournaments. The man's real legit about it. He goes by all the rules, you know what I mean? He makes sure everything's in line and order. Awesome tournaments up there. So I want to give him a shout out, Jesse up there. That's who that rod build's for. It's going to be called a bait runner. He's going to be catching a brim and small panfish on it so he can use them as bait for the big fish, if you know what I mean. Which is one thing I do too. I like to catch the big fish as well. You know what I mean? Veto said he likes that, man. Appreciate that. Hey, your green hat bait casting reel you're always talking about. Can you tell me the name of it? The green, what's up? Or man outdoors, the green bait casting reel. It's called, man, I call that thing the slime rod. You know what I mean? That thing's pretty sweet. My old light bait caster there's the slime rod. I'll show it to you. This is the slime rod right here. I got it. We're getting ready to do a live on here over servicing your reels and doing maintenance on them. So I got all my rods and reels off, but the reel is actually right here. I'll show you the whole setup. I actually got the reel right there. I haven't took it apart yet. When I do my servicing my reels, y'all, I only take one reel apart at a time. I know better than that. This is a slime rod right here. This is my personal rod I built for myself. Y'all ever heard of murdering something out in black, like murdered out? This is like slimed out. It's all green. It's got green grips, green thread work, green reel, green grips. It does have a little bonefish sticker. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's green as well. Everything's green on the old slime rod. Y'all, this rod right here is, I've done a lot. This is my first season fishing with this rod and building it, but it's a medium light. And I'm telling y'all right now, you want to talk about fun catching fish in the river with this thing? The lightness of this rod, it reminds you of like a ducket. This is what it reminds me of. But this is the slime rod that y'all hear me talking about, my old green bait caster. That thing is pretty sweet. I love this rod, y'all. This is amongst one of my favorite custom rods I've built that I have fished. So I don't know. There's plenty of rods out there. I've done built probably 50 fishing rods, custom fishing rods. But that's the slime rod right there. That thing is sweet as well. That was just the basic. I mean, that's a basic rod right there. I mean, that's an OME blank. That's custom rod builder blank. You know, budget blank, budget guides, budget reel seat. My grips or whatever. Y'all know how y'all see my grips over there. I don't know if y'all seen it earlier when I was going, but I just have a whole heap of grips over here that I've gotten it. You know, I've stacked up on and supplied up on. Those things right there, you know what I mean? I mean, there ain't a whole lot to them, so I mean, I pay whatever for those. So that's really a budget build right there, and it's one of the best builds that I feel like I've had and made, you know, for myself. You know. Do you make poles for big fish? I do, man. I do. That Patriot rod we was just doing for a pretty good sized fish on there. Victor said, what's your opinion on Dobin's? I'm not sure what that rod that is, brother. I'm not sure what rod that is, brother. Man, you're welcome, brother. You're welcome, man. That green slime rod is pretty sweet. We're also working on, I'm gonna put a little coat of epoxy. Haven't started yet, but I'm gonna put a coat of epoxy on this rod right here too. This rod right here, we just got done putting it on. I'll show it to y'all. A little update. We did a coat on it last night. We're putting a couple of coats on top of a chevron that we did. This is another, we'll do an update on this rod as well. This rod right here is a subscriber's rod. I have subscribers on Facebook, which is actually, it's a little different than YouTube. On Facebook, you actually are a paid subscriber. They pay every month a little fee to get some awesome benefits, you know what I mean? But this rod right here is sweet as well, too. This is a 7'6" medium rod. It's a moderate action as well. This blank right here is a graphite blank that came out of Get Bits Outdoors. It's an OME blank as well. It's not a custom rod builder blank, but it is an OME blank. It has the custom grips as well. Color coat, nice color matching reel seat. And y'all, it's got what you call a chevron. It's actually a thread pattern that you put on a rod. That's what that's the point we're at now. We got to build a couple of nice coats up on top of this to cover it up. Because that's a sweet wrap right there. I mean, it's basic, but you see the marble right here. And the marble right here, it glows in the dark. That's the sweet part about this rod. This rod is sweet all the way up to the first guide on it. I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff. It has a spot right here for a decal. For whoever gets this rod, they'll have a decal on it. It has a nice marble paint job right there, which does glow in the dark. Then you go into an awesome wrap. Then you go back into another glow in the dark marble job all the way up to the first blank. That's a sweet rod right there. But this rod is at the same position as the other one. You know what I mean? All we're left to do is put a tip on this rod. And we got to build up a couple of more coats of epoxy right here, which I might do a coat tonight. I'm not sure exactly. But this rod right here is another sweet. This rod right here is sweet. I mean, I can barely get it in the camera, all the work on that rod. It has a nice marble job down here on the grip side with the split grip, so it glows in the dark as well. I'll do a glow in the dark session one night on here for y'all. I'm not going to get into all that tonight. I'm not set up really to turn the lights out and get them back on like that. But we will do a glow session. I got a couple of rods in here that glow in the dark, A lot of people ask about those. But this is a nice bass fishing rod, y'all. Or whatever you want. It's a medium moderate action. Medium power, moderate action. So it don't have a real flimsy tip. The tip's pretty sturdy. It's a real light rod. We're almost done with this, and it's nice and light. So I can't complain about the blanks as using an OMB blank, everybody. I have no problem with that. I've used quite a few. It's nice to get them high-end blanks. They are nice. A lot of them are vouched for, but I just can't trash talk any OMB blanks. Custom rod builders or get bits. I've never had trouble with those blanks as far as rod building goes. So I definitely can't talk bad about them, and all. But budget-wise, they're awesome to have. Dang. I'm going to end up knocking something over before the night's over with, y'all. But these rods that I build, you know what I mean? I try to do as budget as I can. Most people that I build rods for, I try to help them out as much as I can. I'll look for deals. I'll try to find that. I don't buy cheap stuff. I don't buy Team U. I don't buy off of any random websites. Anything I get for rod building comes either from Mudhole, Get Bits Outdoors, or it comes directly from the distributor. Meaning American Tackle, Batson Enterprises. These are just rod building names. There's a lot more. There's a lot more out there, I know, but I don't order everything that is in this rod shop. All my supplies up here, all my stuff is quality stuff. Guides, blanks, grips, reel seats. I've never bought anything off of anything cheap. If it don't have a brand of a name that I know of on it, it's not going to have big ass rods on it because I'm just not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like I say, but when I say budget, I don't want people to get confused when I say budget about cheap. I don't build cheap rods. The last thing I build is a cheap fishing rod. But I find the budget deals, You can get on Get Bits and Mudhole. I'm always on there, y'all. I'll look a couple of times in a day to see for specials coming up on stuff where, they used to have deals on rod blanks where they had colored discolorations. The paint wasn't quite right. Maybe down here on this end of the rod, it had like the paint was dripping a little bit. Maybe it ran. That's not going to affect anything to do with the integrity of the rod, the quality, and how it's going to perform for you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you see me, I'm going to jump on those rods. But anytime I do a rod like that, I let somebody know. I let them know, hey, I found a rod. You want me to build your rod? You said, you're in this price range. We can get this rod for that much. But it has a defect on it. But it doesn't mess with the integrity, the performance, or the quality of the rod. So do you want to get that? It's going to knock $20 off the price of the blank. Heck yeah, most people want to do that. You know what I mean? So when I say I build cheaper rods, and I do see, I might use the word cheap and budget. What I mean is we're going to get the best deal we can on all the components and everything we can for a rod build, That's how I look at it. That's for whoever I'm building a rod for. I don't build a lot of rods for people outside of who I know and who I'm familiar with because I've gotten smoked quite a few times on rod deals and where I bought and stuff and, I've just been stuck with the things, Half my supplies are things that people with wanting rod builds and they didn't come through, you know what I mean? Which ain't a big deal. I'm going fishing tomorrow. Any tips? Man, hit it hard. I don't know where you're at, man. Victor, I'm not sure where you're at, brother. I'm not sure where you're at, but I'll tell you one thing. As long as you're going fishing, so that's what really matters. You're out there. I haven't even been fishing. That thing is sweet. Appreciate that, Elvato Fishing. Appreciate that, man. Glows on the summer catfishing night. That's right. I'm going to do a real nice I'm going to do 1 or 2 catfishing rods for myself so I can do live catfishing rod, Show y'all some glow-in-the-dark. Man, the glow-in-the-dark pigment I got's pretty awesome, y'all. It's some awesome glow-in-the-dark pigment. The higher end price stuff. Yeah, it usually gets lighter. Yeah, you can get lighter rods. You can tell the difference when you get a Batson rod. When you get a high quality blank and you get a budget blank, which I call a Know Me blank, you can tell the difference in lightness and stuff like that and the way things are going, like as far as how light you can get the rod and some of the actions, you get a lot more different actions, what you get. You can go action. There's all kinds of actions, you're usually limited to your actions that you can do on a OME blank or a CRB blank and stuff like that. You don't have as many actions. You still have all your powers, medium, light, ultralight, light, heavy, medium, heavy, all that stuff. But you're not going to get your you know, it's hard. You don't get fast tips, and you don't get slow tips, and you don't get, you know, very fast and extra fast and things like that. As far as you want to go with the power or the actual, not the power, but the actual action of the rod. But to me, y'all, I don't get so much into the action. I guess it's not me. Maybe I'm not just such a specific fisherman, but I don't. My action ain't. A moderate action for me is usually pretty good. I do like a little bit of different actions on an ultralight rod. That's about the only the action on the ultralight rod is mainly the only one I worry about so much. You know what I mean? As far as that, if I get a moderate action on pretty much anything else higher than a light rod, the action to me is about where I need it at. That's me personally. That's not everybody else. People are different out there. Everybody's different. Y'all know what I mean about that. Everybody's different. But there's all kinds of stuff, you know. Some of y'all remember the hot pink rod we have going? Jesus, y'all. I'm dropping stuff left and right, y'all. Dropping stuff left and right. Y'all don't worry. I do that all the time. So if you want a custom rod built, I make sure I check the durability of it in the shop, in hand. Y'all, this is the hot pink rod right here. That has a marble job on it as well. This is for an awesome person that runs a page here on Facebook called Hookers and Bobbers. It's got a nice pink to it. Boom. This is the first actual hot pink rod I've ever done. That's fully, you know, there's fully pink and all that. This is a 7-foot medium rod. The blank on this rod is a OME, like we're talking about. Budget rod blank is what it is, y'all. But I have no problems with those, like I said. What's up, John Moss? Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome. True Carolina, welcome, man. True Carolina Outdoors. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing good tonight. Y'all, I'm sorry if I missed you. I'm trying to keep up with the chat there. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, everybody. This rod right here is pretty sweet, though. I ain't got no problems with this rod. Like I say, it's a 7-foot. I think this one's not quite a. I think this is a 7-foot. It could be a 7'6". I don't know, but I think this is a 7-foot. It's got a nice big spot for a decal right here as well. This is a spinning rod. It's a moderate action as well. Meaning a moderate action means that tip's not really stiff. It's kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like in the middle of everything. It's kind of it doesn't have too much flex, and it's got just enough to feel the bite. This right here is just an American tackle. Pretty basic reel seat. Boom. I think this one right here has the same thing. CRB guides on it. The guides are CRB. Ceramic guides on that one. That one's pretty sweet too, y'all. All the rods we're building right now, all the rods I got going right now, every one of them are actually spinning rods, except for a couple of rods I got going bait catchers right now. A little stouter, man, that's a pretty heavy rod. What does it cost to get one made, said John Moss. Man, that's like I'm saying that, man, that all matters on the details on how much you're going to get going on, man. You know what I mean? I mean, it just depends on the details. Like we said, that rod with the rod with the custom, you know, marble paint on it, and it's got a nice cross wrap on it, then things can run $300 to $400, sometimes $500. If you want a basic rod, you want the slime rod setup where you just got a budget rod like I'm talking about being built, you know, I mean, we can get that one for maybe $300 or so. I'm not sure, you know. It just kind of depends on. I got to look at stuff too. I mean, it's changing every day. How much reel seats are costing, how much the blanks. When I first started rod building 6 years ago, blanks were roughly a medium blank would run you about $28. Now they're $39. It's $42 for pretty much a medium blank up or medium light and up. It's going to cost you $42 now. Them things were under $30 when I first started doing it. They keep going up on me, and it makes it harder for me. It makes it harder for me. You know what I mean? To get it done, to be able to give y'all good deals on it and make it, awesome. When I first started, I was giving pretty good deals left and right. You know what I mean? But I can't, I mean, it's hard to do that now because of the price. Y'all, this one's pretty sweet. This is a catfishing rod. This is a medium heavy as well. This is really the only casting rod I have going right now, actually. It's got a sweet blue grip on it. A nice reel seat on it right there. Boom, got a big old grip for fighting that big old fish. And you know what I'm saying, like always, y'all know me. I like the marble jobs. This one's got a sweet marble job on it as well. This marble job right here is a blue and black, but it's the same as the other one. It's gonna have a nice custom decal right here, and then all the way up to the first guide up there. It's a nice marble job. Boom, that thing's gonna be sweet. This thing's going to have a nice Pro Rocket Abu Garcia. Pro Rocket. This thing's going to be a casting son of a gun right here, y'all. I still got about 4 or 5 guides to put on it. But when I get this thing finished, it's going to be a beast. That thing's going to be a catfishing fool. Oh, catfishing fool right there. That thing's going to be a catfishing mamma jamma. I'm just doing an update night on here, y'all, showing y'all the fishing rods that we got going on right now. These are all the rods I got building, okay? So we got the YouTube rod. This one's pretty much done, though. This is my own rod. We have the Patriot, okay? We don't forget about the Patriot. We got the catfishing rod. We got the Carolina catfish layer. We got the Patriot and the one for the subscribers y'all seen with the nice cross grip on it. Those are about done, so we don't really count those. And then we got the one that's the hot pink up there. What else do we have going? I'm trying to think. I got quite a few rods going. We got this one. It's about to go out the door as well. This is another sweet setup. It's the Patriot Junior. It's a little bit different than that rod y'all just seen though. This one right here is a light rod. I got to fill up in Montana. I got to do a little bit of epoxy work on this, and I'm going to send this to a fella up in Montana. He's going to do some trout fishing with it. He wanted this one to be done in the Patriot color because it's going to have his name on it right here, and he's a Marine. He serves for our country, which is awesome. We're going to put a Marine decal on it right there. I got this one finished up. I got the tip on it and everything. I just got to put a couple coats of epoxy on it, y'all. I got to put his decals on it, and we're going to get that sent up to Montana as well. This dude's going to slay the trout in that thing, and he's going to look freaking awesome while he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah. That's the Patriot Junior. Nice marble job on it. Boom, put a decal right there. Put a decal. It's going to have 2 decals on it. It's going to have his name and his branch of the military. That one is going too. That one's pretty much done, though, as far as right now. So, this one's got to go out, too. We got this one finished up. This one is going to my cousin in South Dakota. Old Ghost Rider looking one. This one's pretty sweet, too. This is another one we got with an awesome marble job on it, and that marble job runs all the way up to the first guide. Y'all, these rods just look so good like that. And people ask me, does that affect the action of the rod? Does that mess with it when you're fishing with it? It does not, y'all. It doesn't mess with the rod whenever you do this down here. Here's my rule of rod building and everything with the rod. It doesn't matter what you got, whether it's an ultralight, whether you got a medium, whether you got a heavy rod. If you're going to put epoxy on it like this, and you're going to put a marble job on it, as long as you stay below the first guide, which my guide right here usually runs around 20 inches from the middle of the reel seat. That's how I always base my first guide. I don't go over 22 inches from my first reel seat because I've noticed that in the past when I do that, if you do that, it seems like you get too much of a, with your spinning rods, you get too much of a flop. I don't like that. So I like to keep it usually around 20 inches on my first guide. But as long as you stay behind that, you don't have to worry about it changing the action of your rods. You don't have to worry about it affecting the way you're going to feel the bite or anything like that. Say you got a sensitive tip on your rod, you know what I mean? This, as long as you stay behind the first guide, even if you get up, I wouldn't go past the first guide. That's my rule of thumb. But I don't think you'd have a problem coming up here and putting a little decal or something. I don't think it would affect because once you get past this second guide, that's when you're going to really start to get into what kind of action your rod actually has on it. You know what I mean? So that's just a little tip on that. People ask me about that and wonder about that. You know, it's not going to affect it. You know what I mean? As long as you stay within the first guide on your blank. So say you wanted to remodel a rod like we did this one, and you've got some epoxy, you got the stuff set up, and you want to do it. Stay behind that first blank, and you're not going to affect, even with your ultralights. That is a sweet rod, Joe. We was going over that, yo. That is a sweet rod. That one's getting ready to go to South Dakota. That one is sweet as well. But that one's done. So we got what? We got basically 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about, I think, 5 rods going right now. And I usually keep it like that. I don't try to get more than that. I got about 5 rods lined up after these rods. But those people understand. They know where they set. They know what time frame I told them they would go. I'm usually pretty good about my time frame. But once I start building the rod, that's, once I got you locked in and building the rod, then, I can't go for then. I tell people a time frame when I can start your rod. I don't tell you exactly when I'm going to get it finished. When I start your rod, you'll be like, how long is it going to be? I really don't know. I hope I can get it done in a month. If I can get your rod build done in 3 weeks, we've done a great job. You know what I mean? That's just because with my rod building, I'm only doing this as a hobby. I'm only doing this in the evenings and on the weekends, something like this. So I can't stay at it all the time. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't caught up. Y'all, make sure y'all hitting that like button. I'm running my mouth. I know I talk a lot, but hey, I'm just trying to show off and give everybody show off the rods and give them an update on how many rods we got going and what we got going in this rod shop. We're wide open. We are wide open. Dang, did YouTube hide me again? No, True Caroline, I see you, brother. They didn't hide you. I can't say ever. I can't say I ever know what's going on here. I'm just showing off rods right now, brother. I'm just trash talking till he notices. I hear you, brother. That ain't no worries, man. You're good. You're cheaper means more responsibly priced. That's right. That is right. What's up, Beck? I didn't see you in there, brother. How you doing, man? Welcome back. Hope you're doing good, brother. My roommate uses a 180 Hertz King Harpoon. Need something a little stouter. Oh, I already read that one. That is sweet right there. What's up, Coaz Tail boys? What's up? Welcome, y'all. Sorry I missed y'all. Limeator, yo, that's badass. That thing is nice. That thing is sweet. That is awesome. Megan will do no. What's Megan? That's all right, y'all. Y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. Hey, y'all, everybody asking about a rod. You can't afford a rod. A lot of people can't afford a custom reel build. I understand that, But here at Big S Rods, that's one of the things that I'm fortunate enough, not here on YouTube, but on Facebook. Go check out Facebook, y'all, and follow the page over there on Facebook. And if you follow it and you pay attention, you'll see what's up, I give back to, you have chances over there at getting your hands on a custom fishing rod for a lot of people that couldn't afford one, because I understand that. One of the main reasons I got into rod building, everybody, and started building these custom fishing rods is because I'm just like anybody else out there, y'all. I'm not no big content creator. I don't make a whole lot of money. I'm a plumber. That's what I do for a living, y'all. That likes to do fishing, likes to go fishing, and picked up a hobby of building custom fishing rods, I wanted a custom fishing rod, and I was like, that's a lot of money. It is. It's not. There's no such thing as a cheap custom fishing rod, everybody. I understand that. And that's why, we're fortunate enough. I'm monetized on Facebook. We're fortunate enough that we have an awesome following over there that we can, build custom fishing rods and get them into the hands of people that can't afford them. Just like myself before I started building custom fishing rods. I wanted me a custom fishing rod, and I said, I'm going to buy a kit. I'm going to build me one. And I built my first custom fishing rod, and 50-something odd rods later, here I am sitting here on YouTube chatting to y'all, preaching to y'all about custom fishing rod building. You know what I mean? That's what I did, you know what I mean? And I encourage anybody else, you know what I mean? The custom rod building ain't real hard. It's not real complicated, you know what I mean? It's just, you got to have the right stuff. You just need the right things to do it. That's all that really matters with it. A little bit of creativity. These marble jobs, those are simple. It's just creativity on those, y'all. There's not a whole lot that goes into it. Definitely check it out on Facebook, though, y'all. That's what I'm saying on there. You have 2 chances on Facebook to be a subscriber and just to be a regular follower or to join the lives on there. And I give everybody a shot at getting their hands on a custom fishing rod for engagement. for hanging out, for joining the custom, for joining the live builds. That's all you got to do is you got to just be an engager and help out by liking and sharing lives and doing what everybody, what most people do. Everybody knows how the social media works. Everybody knows how the platforms work, and the more people that share, the more better it is. The more you grow, the more better it is. The better for liking the lives. That's why I always ask people to like the lives, like the page, subscribe. You know what I mean? Everybody that subscribes to me, I try to subscribe back to them. Make sure I return the share, the love, his thing, because I understand that's the only way we can grow, y'all. We don't grow on here by, you know what I'm saying, just producing content. You got to have an awesome following like people on here. You got to have an awesome following like people on Facebook, people with TikTok and things like that. You got to have an awesome following and make sure you can get out there and be seen and grow. You know what I mean? I'm more of half and half. I do build custom fishing rods for a hobby, but I like to show it off. I do create content. I create content on rod building and on especially on YouTube, how to replay stuff, question and answers, info, things that you can use, that you can do. I try to go over a lot of stuff that you can do on your own without buying a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Putting a shrink, grip, making them things look good, replacing a tip, getting this stuff off Amazon and things like that, replacing a tip on a rod, even replacing a guide, y'all. The only thing you would have to buy is some epoxy. You can get that on Amazon as well. You can get the flex coat. You can get this exact stuff that I use right here, which is flex coat. You can get that off Amazon if you want. If you don't want to go through, mud hole, you get that and a razor blade and a heat gun. You can take these guides off and replace them yourself. You can strip a rod completely down. You got to get and then, what I'm saying, homemade stuff. I got a homemade lay. I've built all my stuff's homemade. Some of my dryers, some of my stuff and everything is homemade. It's stuff I made at the home, you know what I mean? And I found out how to make it right here on YouTube. Appreciate that, Steve. Over at Hog Customs. He supports the lives. He knows what I'm talking about. Make sure y'all check him out too as well. He's gonna be doing live shows on building custom baits. He does 3D printing. He does all kinds of stuff over there at Hog Customs. Make sure y'all check him out as well. True Carolina Outdoors is in there as well. He services reels and stuff out of North Carolina over there, y'all. He's awesome as well. You make ultralight fishing poles, said John Moss. Yeah, man. I have made a few. Y'all want to see a couple ultralights? I've made a couple of ultralights. The last ultralight I built was actually on the Facebook Live. It was about a couple of weeks back. It was called the Riddler. It also glowed in the dark. That was a freaking awesome rod. If y'all want to see what that rod was about, go back and check my Facebook back a while. Go look at some of them pictures and look up the Riddler. If you punch the Riddler in on the page on Big S Rods over there, you'll see a freaking awesome rod that we did. That was the 7-foot ultralight rain shadow blank. That thing was sweet. Had custom grips on it, had the Fuji reel seat. I was excited about that rod when we built it because it had all high-end components. It had a high-end blank, high-end reel seat, high-end everything on that rod, and it was sweet as could be. This one right here is an ultralight. It's only 6 foot. This is a pretty sweet rod. This rod right here is going to head towards Indiana is where this rod's going. It's got nice custom grips on it. It's got an Alps reel seat. That's a pretty sweet reel seat. Got a nice marble job right here on the split grip. Boom. Like it's got his name on it, Old Deke. It's got a nice marble job up here. This is like a golden, man, this is like a golden orange. This is like a burnt orange. Y'all know, like that's the actual color. It was like a burnt orange on the thread. This rod turned out real sweet. It's ultralight 6 foot. It's got a real nice tip on it as well. Boom, boom, boom. That's a pretty sweet one right there. That right there is a O&Me blank as well. It's a nice sweet blank. We have another. Let's see. We have another ultralight going. Where's it? That's the main ultralight we got going. That's the only ultralight I got going right now, man. It's a pretty sweet rod. I do have one more, but it's up in the shop. Just had it. I just finished doing it for myself. But I do the ultralights. I do ultralight rods. This one's the ultralight that we remodeled, you know what I mean? But I just like that thing. You just snap that thing in half and take off with it. You know what I mean? Wherever you need to go. That's the sweetest part about this rod. This little ultralight we're redoing. I'm excited to fish with this thing. I'm gonna make sure I post a couple videos on here too whenever I do catch some fish on this thing. Y'all, I've caught 150,000 fish on this rod. But I have never looked so cool fishing with this rod. You know what I mean? Never looked so cool because that rod hasn't looked great. I'll be honest, I probably bought that. I think I got that rod from somebody back whenever I probably graduated high school. I'm 42 years old. I've had that rod forever, y'all. It was well due for the makeover that it got. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not gonna get on it tonight right here. I'm not gonna pull out the epoxy tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I do apologize. I'm not gonna pull out the epoxy. We will probably tomorrow night we'll do the epoxy stuff. I'm gonna put a coat of epoxy on this awesome rod right here. We showed y'all. We're gonna put a coat of epoxy on this nice chevron wrap right there. That's what we'll do tomorrow night. That's what we'll do is an epoxy night. We'll put another coat of epoxy on this. We'll put us a coat of epoxy on this one right here. The American Patriot. We done put a color preserver on it tonight. We done got these ready and put the epoxy on. So that's what we'll do tomorrow night is we're going to do like an epoxy night. I'm going to sit on here and I'm going to bore y'all for like an hour and a half. And all we're going to do is put epoxy on all these rods and make them look real bling bling. You know what I mean? Seal them up. You know what I mean? And if you're not sure what the epoxy is, it's just a 2-part epoxy. I get mine from Mud Hole. It's Flex Coat, 2-part resin. You mix equal parts on this right here. And once you mix it, you usually got about 25 good minutes is what I like to usually to put it on your epoxy. But when you do put this epoxy on here, you do have to have a dryer, which all a dryer is it looks like this. Is your dryer. You can buy these for the last I remember it was about 25 bucks on Mud Hole, which ain't terrible. You can make one for cheaper. Actually, I don't know if you can anymore. But it's got a little variable speed. It spins. And you can stop it. It's on a chuck. So I can stop it at any time there. So if you want to stop it and do stuff. But it has to spin like that. You have to have it spinning when you apply that epoxy for at least 4 to 6 hours. You have got to spin that thing. If you don't, it'll drip right off there like it wasn't nothing. So you got to make sure you have that as well. Jared, welcome, brother. How you doing, Jared? Hope you're doing good, man. That's awesome. I love to fish walleye with my ultralight. It's so much fun. Yeah, man, I enjoy that too. That's why my slime rod, my bait caster back there, my slime rod, it's a medium light. And when I fish in that river with that thing, man, you know, a little, you catch a 2 or 3 pound bass in the river, fighting the current, having a medium light rod as well. Man, it's fun, dude. Sometimes I get crazy and throw my rod at the fish. If the fish really aggravate me, y'all go back and watch some videos. If the fish really aggravate me when I'm fishing in the river, I'll throw my rod and reel at it. I'll just chunk it right at their forehead. If y'all know my channel and y'all know me on here lately, y'all know what I'm talking about. I built this custom rod back here, and I ain't had it very long. And I promise, I'm vouching for it now. It's such a light fishing rod that I built. I would cast it, and this thing would fling out of my hand. It happened once or twice. I was like, what the heck? And I was on the river and threw that thing, and it comes slinging out of my hand and went bloop, went right in the river. But it was so light. This rod was so light that it floated long enough for me to reach down there and grab it. And it's got the reel on it, you know what I mean? This thing's floating. I mean, it didn't bubble, it didn't go down. This thing hit the river and just started doing like this. Now, it was gonna go under. You know, I haven't figured out how to make a floating rod yet. And when I do, I'm never gonna work again. If I can figure out how to, and I'm not talking about putting noodles on it, y'all. I'm not talking about putting big, bulky noodles. I'm talking about just having this fishing rod right here, just like it looks, a regular standard fishing rod. no big old, floaties, none of that kind of stuff, life jackets. I'm talking about being able to someday get a rod with a reel on it to float. Dude, I ain't gonna work. You think I'm gonna work if I ever do that? If I ever can figure that out, y'all think I'm gonna work? No. I'm gonna fish the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But if I can figure that out, now that I'm gonna tell you, that slime rod I got is borderline. It's still far from floating, but it's the most floatingest rod I've ever had. Jeanette said the slime rod. I know what she's saying. She said that thing will float, huh? You have to shoot me over a portfolio of your work, big ass rods. I'll have to do that, True Carolina. I'll make up one on Facebook. I do want to go over. I finally got all my pictures. I had a lot of them lost on different phones, and then I had to go back through my Facebook and see. I'm gonna go back through there, and I probably got videos or pictures of at least 20, 25 of the rod builds that I can find that I've done. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of rods. I've done over 50 rods, y'all. I have a light action 7'2" most of my fishing. Yeah, that's a fun rod to fish with, man. That's a fun rod to fish with. Jared, I hope you're doing good, brother. I hope you're doing good tonight, man. I catch you in that live. I appreciate you jumping in that live and shooting them stars over, as well as Steve and all y'all. That's one of the things on the Facebook, we're monetized over there, y'all, and that's why we're able to build these rods over there on Facebook and do like we're doing, is because we're monetized, you know what I mean? And the support right there, I take every bit of it and dump it right back into the page. I know a lot of people say that or whatever, but that's exactly what I do. And if I'm not dumping it into the rod builds that we're doing, it's for bracelets to shoot out and koozies. And we got a whole new, I ain't told nobody yet, y'all, but we got a whole lot of I got a new decal coming in. It's actually, y'all, I think y'all are going to like it. And we don't have any of these decals yet. My subscribers are going to get the first dibs on them. You know what I mean? But the decal we got, it's on the back of the page. Just on the back of my chair right there right now. But this is the decal we got right now. This is the decal we got right now. It says feel the bite. That's kind of my thing. I like that. You know what I'm saying? When you use a big ass rod, you feel the bite. That's the decals we got right now, as well as our koozies. Now, y'all, I wish that was round. When I ordered these koozies, we made a mistake, and they made it square with the white. They should have made that just round, just like this. So that was the mess up on that. They're still awesome koozies, though. They feel the bite. Little package. I'm talking about like the little big-ass rod. That's the kind of package we'll do. We might stuff this into a box and put a hat in it when we hit 1,000 subscribers, y'all. So that's why I say make sure y'all share it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all like and subscribe on the page. You know what I mean? So whenever we hit 1K on our subscribers, I'm gonna do a koozie like this with some bracelets. Throw a decal in there. Maybe, I mean, that's a pretty sweet package right there. You know what I'm saying? So we do something like that for 1K subscribers on here. We'll shoot that out, donate that to one of y'all awesome subscribers. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all are subscribing and liking the videos and liking the lives. We're mainly going to be doing lives on here. I do post my fishing videos and stuff. I do a lot of fishing, y'all. I'm not just a rod builder. Heck, I'd be crazy if I built rods and didn't do no fishing. So we post a lot of stuff on here with fishing and everything else on the lives or on the page as well. But kind of I'm focusing more right now on Q&A, rod building, updates on rod buildings. If you got a rod I'm building for you, you know, it's always nice to be able to go on YouTube if you're on YouTube and be able to see what's going on with your rod, watch your rod be built, you know what I mean? It's another reason I want to do it too. So if you're interested in your rod and you got a rod build going, like right now, all my Facebook followers are able to watch me build these rods on here. Jesse O'Neill can jump on and watch me build his rod. Virginia, who I'm building the hot pink rod. People can jump on and watch their rods, you know what I mean, and check it out and see how it's being built, which that's pretty cool too as well, you know. Yeah, I'm looking at thread work. I got you, brother. I got you. We'll do that. I remember you was contacting me earlier, man, about that rod. We'll talk more about that. John said he needs a few of them. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, man. I can get you hooked up. John Moss, I got you up there. You're about to be the next to get packaged up. I'm about to send yours out. I was telling you that the other day. I'm gonna put you some decals in there and some bracelets, brother. All my everybody that wins stuff on my lives from Facebook and all that stuff, John. Everybody, I always hook y'all up with a decal and bracelets and things like that, brother. You know what I mean? All that stuff. Good night, Jared. I appreciate you joining us, Jared. Have a great night, man. Have a great night, brother. Joshua, what's up, man? Welcome, Joshua. How you doing? You're welcome, John, man. I got you, brother. I got you. I think I got you. I got you over there right now. I see. I'm looking at your baits up there right now. You got two sets of baits coming. You got some baits coming from Rib'em Lips Lures and TFK Fishing, brother. You got two baits coming, so you got decals from them too. Look, you're gonna have like 3 or 4 decals and like a couple of, but you got a nice package coming, brother. That's because you're a freaking awesome supporter. That's why you're that. That's exactly why you got that coming in the mail soon, because you're a freaking awesome supporter, brother. You know what I mean? I take care of my people. I don't care what anybody says on Facebook or anything like that. Any other content creator, I don't compete with nobody. I'm not no jealous man by no means or nothing. But all I can do is what I do on my lives and what I do on my Facebook and to my followers. I give back to my followers. I appreciate my followers just as much as they appreciate me. My subscribers the same way. You know what I mean? I mean, there ain't a whole lot I can do, but you know, as far as that, if I get like monetized or something like that, I mean, you know what I mean? Someday, if I could ever make money enough off of content creation to sustain it myself, that would be awesome. You know what I mean? I'm far from that right now. I make enough money on social media to afford to be able to get the stuff to build rods, to be able to have, you know, bracelets like this and be able to do live shows and stuff like that. I've ordered koozies, lanyards and stuff like that with big ass rods. Every now and then, you know, I order from my bait makers. You know what I mean? Awesome bait makers donate baits to the lives. All this stuff you see back here. These are awesome bait makers that support big ass rods. You know what I mean? And I shoot out orders to them. I use social media money for that to take orders from them, you know. And they always send, every one of them always send extra baits to shoot out on these lives, you know what I mean? And to give away to my followers. It's crazy how much support there is out there actually in the fishing family, everybody. And like I said, I don't get jealous of nobody. I don't bother nobody, but I try to give back as freaking much as I can. And I don't care what anybody says or thinks. I know it. Yeah, that's what I do. You know, so, and I don't sit there and gloat on it. I don't try to get no big. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? That's how I'm able to do these rods. That's how I'm able to keep the social media even going like it is, you know, is because of the financial support from every one of my supporters and followers. So shoot, we get monetized here on YouTube too. We'll start rocking it out on here on YouTube as well, y'all. If I can get up, I don't know what it's going to take. I haven't looked a whole lot into it. Whatever it takes to get monetized on here, we're going to try to work to that. And if we can get to that step too, we'll rock this joint out too. I ain't lying. We'll rock this thing out too. You're doing amazing work, man. Keep it up. Appreciate that, John. Appreciate that, brother. Can't wait to see the team. Yeah, man, you got a nice, man. Yeah, you got a nice package coming, John. You got a nice package coming up in there, brother. But that's all I'm gonna do is keep grinding and going, y'all. Like I said, I can't, you know, I can't do the social media full time like I'd want and make as many videos and do the editing and all that stuff. I just catch fish and I do a little editing on them, throw them up on here, and do the live shows. You know what I mean? That's basically what we do on social media. I like to do live shows because I like to communicate with people. That's why I do these live shows. That's the main reason I started doing them, because it's about communication. I like to talk with y'all. I like to interact with my people. You know what I mean? I like to know where y'all are from. Y'all see that a lot. I ask people where you're from. You know what I mean? What do you fish for? I like to know these things. You know what I mean? I'm not just on here to just get on here and, you know, I'm going to build my custom rods. I'm not going to talk to nobody. I'm not going to do anything. We're going to talk. I mean, I'm going to answer questions. That's the main reason I'm doing the lives. That's the main reason I want to do it on here. How hard is it to paint a gator blank? Man, I don't know about that painting thing. I haven't gotten into a whole lot of painting rods, man. I haven't done a whole lot of painting rods. I've done a whole lot of, I've dipped stuff like I say I'm going to do with these reels and stuff. But as far as painting a rod, like you're talking about fully paint job on a rod, like the full rod. I've never painted one, man. Never gotten into that. I don't know exactly how well that works with the flex of it. What kind of, I mean, it's going to change your action, but I'm not sure about that, honestly, man. not sure how hard it is to paint it. If you're talking about just doing a marble job is just a marble job. There ain't much to that. There ain't a whole lot that goes on to that. But if you're talking about painting the whole blank, I've never actually done one, brother. Never actually done a whole blank. I've painted a couple rod rebuilds. Held up pretty well, did you? Well, yeah, man, Steve might be able to tell you no more about that. Y'all Hog Customs over there he builds custom fishing rods too as well. He ain't doing a whole lot of it right now, but I think he said he's gonna get back into it here soon too. He does a lot of bait. He makes a lot of custom baits and 3D printing, and he does all kinds of stuff over there, y'all. But he's really familiar with rod building too as well. Y'all can reach out to him about some certain questions as well. But yeah, I mean, I know you can paint them. Man, I've just never looked into it a whole lot. I've never gotten into it. I mean, when I first got into rod building, all I did was that. I didn't do the grips. I didn't do none of that stuff. And then I realized that how much I was kind of missing out on being able to do my own grips with all my grips over here. So I started working that into doing my own grips and being able to sand and shape my own grips and put them on. And once I figured that out, I kind of stopped there at my grips, meaning, you know, I build the rod from the blank up, but I don't get into making grips, and I don't get into like painting the blanks, and I've never gotten into a whole lot of painting reel seats or anything else, doing a whole lot of paint work, you know, because that's, to me, that's going to be a whole nother step for me. I'm going to have to get a whole nother not setup, but I'm going to have to get more gear. I'm going to have to get sprayers. I'm going to have to get certain things that I just ain't really ready for back here yet. I'm not quite open for that yet. I need to get a little more space. I need to get a little more room in here, and maybe a couple of years down the road, I'll get into more of that kind of stuff. But as far as painting the blanks, I just haven't gotten into that yet, you know. Yeah, solid color because you can't. Old school Fenwick honey color rod. Old school Fenwick honey color rods anymore. That is right. Yeah, I bet so, man. I bet so. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you was talking about marbling or if you was talking about painting the whole blank there, brother. I used a good primer and plastic paint in a can when sprayed human ether all over it. That's what I'm gonna do. When we dip this reel seat over here, I'm gonna put a nice clear coat on it. Unless you can find me a 40 to 50 class honey Fenwick. I ain't sure about it, man. We'll have to talk more about that, brother. You know, we'll have to talk a little more. I know we's messaging each other. I'll have to look into that. I never say never. We'll have to look into that. I'll see. I mean, we can see what we can find on that for sure, brother. We can definitely try to see and figure out what we can find on there. I'm definitely down with that. I used those rods for over years with no problem. Didn't have any chipping. That's pretty good. That's what I'm wondering. I'm just the exact kind of paint you're going to need to use for it and stuff and all that. So it does, you know what I mean? Because I mean, whenever you got a rod that's, you know what I mean, how's it going to act up here? That's what I was wondering. If you know, Steve says it's worked out pretty good for him with what he used. I've just never painted a whole blank, but Steve says that thing held up pretty good. And all. I love my 1978 Fenwick. Heavier, it's 10 foot. I want an 8 foot to match it for a king and tarpoon. Man, that's awesome, man. That stuff, those are fun to fish for. I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about. We can check it out. We can look into it. We can definitely look into it, brother. That's for sure. We can always look into it for sure. We can definitely look into it. Oh, goodness. But yeah, we got this nice YouTube rod going right here. Once I finish this one up, you know, get on going down the road. I'm gonna do me. I want to do me one. I'm gonna do one more bass fishing rod for myself that I'd like to get done before spring for bass fishing, and then after that, I'm gonna do 2 catfishing rods for myself. You know, that's along with everything else that I'm doing, man. I'm doing so many other rods on here right now, y'all. It's crazy how many rods I'm doing on here and trying to get done. It takes forever because I just can't do it. I can't do it full time. If I could do rod building full time, it wouldn't be so bad on here. You know what I mean? If I could do rod building full time on here, but I can't do that. And I noticed no change in action. That's a big question people have too. Does the rod change in its action when you paint it? I'm not real sure. Steve said he didn't notice any. Tristan, what's up, brother? What is up, Tristan? What do you think about the Berkeley lightning rod? It's all right, man. Berkeley lightning rod is all right. It's all right. Berkeley's a pretty good rod. Y'all got an old rod over there that lights up, the old Berkeley light up rod. It glows in the dark too, but this rod is old school, y'all. I think I got it over there. I'll show it off some other time. It's an old Berkeley rod. It's a biggin. And it's pretty cool. It's got the LED. I don't know if I still have that thing or not over here. It might be outside. No, I got it here. The old Berkeley rod. Y'all, this rod is an old school rod right here. It was called the glow stick. I don't know if any of y'all ever recognize this rod, but it's called the glow stick. And I didn't use it a whole lot. All right. It's a medium heavy spinning rod. 10 to 30 pounds. Y'all remember this rod? I still got dust all over this thing. It's been so long. But this rod right here, the old Berkeley rod. This is a big old thick bad boy. The old Berkeley rod. This thing's heavy as a bone, y'all. I'm telling you, this thing about 3 pounds right here. It was called the Berkeley glow stick. Y'all remember that? And if you... Boom. Y'all see that? It's got the light on it. And you turn that light on and it eliminates the rod. All right. And then all the way up here, it's got one here in the tip too. And it eliminates the other end of this rod. And it'll have this whole rod will be glowing in the dark when you're done with it. See, it's got a light up in here as well right there. It's got a few lights in it. And you can turn that light off and on when you're out there fishing. And you just turn that light on for a little while, and it eliminates that rod. And you turn it off for a little while, and the rod glows in the dark. It's a Berkeley glow. It's a Berkeley glow stick. Y'all ever remember that rod? That's a solid glass rod. It is. It's old. It's so heavy, man. It's crazy. Steve said he remembers it. John Moss says he has one like that for night fishing. Y'all, I have never even... This still has the plastic. It still has the plastic on the grip part of it. I've never even took the plastic off. That's a pretty sweet rod right there, though, y'all. It's a 9-foot... The 9-foot glow stick, y'all. I still fish as a spinning rod. I still catfish with this thing because it's so cool. Being able to put batteries in it and have all the stuff to have it lit up like that is what makes that rod quite heavy like it is. But when you're catfishing with a rod like that, it spends half the time in the, for me, it spends half the time in the rod holder. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? It's like, it being heavy is not a big deal to me because it's in the rod holder, you know what I mean? I usually don't hold on to it. I have rod holders I've learned in the past in my days to put rod holders. Make sure I put all mine in rod holders, all my rods. I've learned a couple of times, had a few accidents. And plus, y'all, when I fish for catfish, I do a little bit of catfishing. I like to catch, a couple pound catfish to eat and stuff, but that's every now and then. And I have certain places I fish for those. But majority of the time when I fish for catfish, I'm fishing for big monster catfish, you know what I mean? And I do it a lot. And people I haven't done it a whole lot lately in catfishing, but when I go catfishing, people ask me a lot. They're like, David, how do you catch such big catfish all the time? Like, how do you catch this big catfish? I'm like, I catch this big catfish because I use bigger bait. And people laugh at me. And they're all like, man, that's what everybody says. Okay. Then everybody should be catching bigger catfish because that is a true statement. I mean, bigger the bait, the bigger the catfish. And and a lot of people are like, well, I never seen you hardly ever even catch any small. Why don't you show the small one? I don't catch smaller catfish. I'm being honest. I use brim the size of my hand when I catfish. A lot of my baits are usually about the size of my hand or so. So a little catfish can't get it in its mouth. I'm dead serious, you know what I mean? You're going to be a 15-pound catfish or bigger to get my bait in your mouth. That's how I target only bigger fish. When I go out on a fishing trip and they're like, man, all I'm catching is little bitty fish. Like, well, what are you fishing with? I'm fishing with liver, and I'm fishing with, night crawlers. It's like, well, that's exactly why, because your bait gets stolen off like that. When I catfish for big trophy catfish, if I'm catfishing for monsters out there, the hogs, I use huge bait. I do. I catch brim that people throw in the pan and eat. I throw a couple of them in there to eat, and then I use the rest of them for bait. If they get around a little bigger than my hand, I will cut them in half on my cutting bait, but that's what I use. And I watch my bait all the time bouncing around. Sometimes my pop rods will almost go over like that. No, that's the little catfish that everybody's catching. He's down there nibbling on my big old brim. Not worried about him. When you see the rod doing this bouncing and it stops bouncing, that's when you get ready for the big takedown, because the big boys done come in and he scared them little 4 and 5 pound catfish off. They can't get that bait in their mouth. They're just down there ripping parts off the gill on it, ripping little pieces of the bait off and ripping it up. And then you get the 15, 20 pounder comes rolling up in there. That's when the tip of the rod stops bouncing. Then I'm like, y'all know how it is when you know that takedown's about to happen. That's how I catch and target big catfish, is bigger bait. People laugh when I say that, but it's the truth. It's facts, y'all. It's facts. But you also have to be where the bigger catfish are. That's exactly right. And I target my catfishing channel. That's what I like to do. You know what I mean? I like to sit in about 10 or 12 foot of water. Say you got 30 feet in front of you, 30 yards in front of you. You got a 16-foot drop off in the channel. Goes from 12 foot to 16 or 18. That's what I like to do, is get them baits right there. Right there, starting to go down into that channel on that cliff, because them big ones are down here. All right. And the little ones, they come out there. Oh, watch out. That water's getting deep. I ain't getting into all that. That big one's waiting for a couple of them to come over that hill so he can come up and get them. That's how I target some big ones. There's a couple log jams I like to follow too. That I target big, large cat. When I'm targeting trophy catfish, I feel like the bright catfish rods are just showing people real colors called the rainbow. I hear you, brother. Don't get a bright colored fishing rod. You know what I'm saying? To everyone their own, brother. I got a clicker. What I need that to see that mofo for? I don't know, man. I do a lot of night fishing at night too. When it was dark, I'm lighting up my boat a lot more so I can see more on the boat. But I never used to have a real big light on my boat. I got clickers on all my rods too. And I used to take a little glow sticks that I'd get from Dollar Tree, and I'd put them on the tip of my rod. You know what I mean, and have them so I can see it at dark. Because when I get out there I have my running lights on, but I mean I can't see them. It gets pretty dark in my boat. It gets pretty dark in my boat, but I just used glow sticks up until then. That's how I used to do it. You know what I mean? When I was targeting big catfish. But about the same way, man, I can feel it in my boat. Before I used to be able to see them and stuff, and I have a couple of rods without clickers, I can feel it I can feel it thumping. I'd be like, something's going on. I can feel it. And I'd look back at one of the rods be bent over, the tip of it be down in the water. Like, oh yeah, we got a big one on now. Well, a circle hook sets itself, so all I have to do is grab the rod and tighten, drag, and then hang on. That's right, man. I like circle hooks too. I like to use circle hooks myself. I like to use the circle hooks as well, brother. I do too myself. Y'all, we're going to get ready to wrap this live up here soon. I'm going to have to get into bed before too long. It's almost 1 o'clock here on the East Coast in South Carolina. That's where we be building all these awesome fishing rods at. It's almost 1 o'clock. I'm going to have to jump on here. I've been on about an hour and a half or so. Did a little rod update tonight. Tomorrow we're going to do some epoxy on these rods. Y'all tune in tomorrow night. We'll be on here doing a little bit of epoxy night. We'll do an hour, probably or so, hour and a half of nothing but epoxy on these rods. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about too with the epoxy, and you know what I'm saying, how well it does when you put that color preserver on it and stuff and all that. You know what I mean? It's been fun, Hogman. I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. You too, John. Appreciate you joining us, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, yeah. I'm going to set this rod up out of the way. Like I said, join us tomorrow night, y'all. Hey, if y'all wondering about these custom rods, if you want to get a chance to get your hand on a custom rod, you know what I'm saying? Just by being an awesome person and engaging, you know, look up BigSrod's on Facebook, everybody. We got it going on over there. We make sure we give everybody a chance to get in on a little something like that. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all check us out on all the platforms there. I'm BigSrod's on everything. I got Instagram. I got TikTok. I got Facebook. I got YouTube here. If you put in BigSrod's, it's the same exact name on every platform, everybody, so it's not hard to find us, all right? K-Joe, appreciate you. Appreciate you joining us, man. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate that. Everybody that tuned in tonight. We got quite a few likes up there. I appreciate y'all joining in. Make sure y'all sub if you haven't subbed up to the page so y'all can see more awesome rod builds and keep up on more updates as we go along here, everybody. And we push to that 1K subscribers, all right, everybody? All right. We'll jump on here tomorrow night. I'll catch up with y'all then. I appreciate it, everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, BigSrod's, we getting ready to sign off. Make sure y'all have a great